It is an annual rite of spring, bringing with it excitement and emotion that can be found in no other sporting event. The NCAA tournament. Your wait is finally over, the brackets are ready, and the drama of March Madness is about to begin. Hello, everyone. I'm Greg Gumbel, and this is the NCAA Championship Basketball Selection Show, brought to you by State Farm, the #1 auto insurer. Joining me at the anchor desk, as always, my partner, Clark Kellogg. We're all set to show you the seedings and pairings, so get out your bracket sheet, get those pencils ready. Here are the basics. Of the 65 available tournament bids, 31 are automatically given to conference champions. The tournament committee hands out the remaining 34 bids on an at-large basis. An opening round game will take place on Tuesday night to narrow the field to 64 teams. But before we unveil the brackets for this season, here's a look at the final top 25 media poll of the season. There's one big change you'll notice in the rankings. A new team is sitting pretty in the top spot. The Oklahoma Sooners are the new #1. No doubt they're thrilled to be on the top of the heap just as the tournament gets set to begin. The Aggies of Texas A&M were the #1 team, but slipped after spending 1 week at the top. The media rankings are what everyone's been following for the last 4 months, but in just a minute, the selection committee's opinion is going to be the only one that matters. It's time to talk about the topic that has a lot of players and coaches holding their breath right now, the NCAA tournament bubble. These are the 10 teams that aren't worried as much about where they'll be playing as if they'll be playing. Clark, who jumps out at you there?
Xavier did just enough to get on the bubble, but I'm not sure they did enough to get off the bubble. There may have been a few too many bumps in the road for them.
And we have a few more teams in similar position, right, Clark?
Washington State could have sealed their invitation with a better regular season finish, but the fact is they play in a very tough conference, and that does weigh heavily in their favor.
I'm sure it's been a long week for those teams, but the wait's almost over. The NCAA Selection Committee has finished its meeting, and we're ready to unveil the top 4 seeds in this year's tournament. The Aggies of Texas A&M are the top overall seed, and they will play in the East Regional. The Selection Committee differed with the media on who the #1 team in the country is, but the committee is the important one at this point, and we'll soon see if their faith in this team is warranted. On to the second #1 seed, who will play in the San Antonio Regional. The UCLA Bruins are seeking their 13th NCAA championship in school history. The Oklahoma Sooners are our third #1 seed, and they'll play in the St. Louis Regional. They return to the tournament after not making the field last year, so this will be a new experience for some of their younger players. And finally, our fourth #1 seed will play in the San Jose Regional. The Texas Tech Red Raiders are in the tournament field as a #1 seed for the first time in the history of their program. Now, here's how the brackets shape up based on where the #1 seeds have been assigned. In one national semifinal game, the winner of the East Regional will play the winner of the San Antonio Regional. In the other semifinal game, the winner of the St. Louis Regional will play the winner of the San Jose Regional. Those games will be played on Saturday, April 1st. Then it'll be on to the national championship game on Monday night, April the 3rd. Anything shocking to you about those picks?
Well, when you see the selection committee deviate from the top 4 teams in the media poll, it's a little surprising. They've opened themselves up to some criticism with these picks.
So, with the #1 seeds out of the way, it's finally time to tackle the rest of the brackets. First up, we take a look at the East Regional. The Aggies of Texas A&M are the top seed, finishing at 28-5. They were winners of the regular season championship in the Big 12. They will take on the winner of the opening round play-in game between Southern Utah, with 13 wins, and Maine from the America East Conference. And now, the #8 seed, the Pepperdine Waves, come into the tournament first in their conference during the regular season and were semifinalists in their conference tournament. They're going to play the #9 seed, the Wisconsin Badgers, who were regular season champions in their conference, finishing at 20-12. Clemson enters the field as the #4 seed from the ACC. This will be their 14th appearance all time in the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the #13 seed, the Portland State Vikings. Finished the season with 17 wins.
The Clemson Tigers will be an extremely dangerous team in this tournament, mainly because they have such terrific veteran leadership. Coaches love when they have guys on the floor that have been around the block a few times because they don't get rattled. They play with composure. I look at the experience of this team as something that could put them over the top.
St. Joseph's comes in as the #5 seed, finishing at 23-7. And they will take on the 12th seed from the West Coast Conference, the Portland Pilots, with 16 wins. Next up is the number 2 seed. The West Virginia Mountaineers have established themselves as one of the best teams from the Big East. They'll be going up against the number 15 seed, the Mountaineers of Appalachian State, with 18 wins. This will be their 5th appearance in the NCAA tournament in team history. Our number 7 seed is from the Big Ten. The Ohio State Buckeyes were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the big dance. They are going to play the number 10 seed, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 21-12. Alabama comes in as the number 3 seed, finishing at 21-9. Ohio comes in to face them at number 14 with 16 wins in the tournament championship of the MAC. The Arizona Wildcats are in as the number 6 seed. They'll be taking on the number 11 seed, the Virginia Commonwealth Rams, with 22 wins. Some of the lower seeds in this bracket have the ability to not only compete with the high seeds, but win a few games. The potential for a Cinderella or two in this bracket is definitely there. Next up, we'll take a look at the San Antonio Regional. The UCLA Bruins are the top seed, finishing at 25-7. They were winners of the regular season championship in the Pac-10. They'll take on the Belmont Bruins, the number 16 ranked team. This is their 3rd appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. Wake Forest comes in as the number 8 seed, finishing at 19-12. Iowa comes in to face them at number 9 with 19 wins and a chance to make believers out of any doubters they might have. Northwestern comes in as the number 4 seed, finishing at 23-9. And they'll take on the 13th seed from the Northeast Conference, the Wagner Seahawks, with 22 wins. Florida enters the field as the number 5 seed from the SEC. This is their 18th appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 12 seed, the Oregon Ducks, finished the season with 19 wins.
The Florida Gators are going to provide serious matchup problems to any team that doesn't have depth and defensive ability at both guard spots. They have outstanding backcourt play at both ends of the court. It's the main reason they've made it this far, and they're going to have...
Our number 2 seed is from Conference USA. The Houston Cougars had a tremendous year that included a regular season championship. They're going to play the number 15 seed, the Vanderbilt Commodores, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 17-17. Next up is the number 7 seed. The Villanova Wildcats have established themselves as one of the best teams from the Big East. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Nevada Wolfpack, with 24 wins. This will be their 8th appearance ever in the NCAA tournament. The Indiana Hoosiers are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the Harvard Crimson, with 17 wins. And now the number 6 seed, the Nebraska Cornhuskers, come into the tournament 6th in their conference during the regular season and were winners of their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 11 seed, the Michigan State Spartans, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 21-13. This bracket has the potential to give us a sensational matchup in the regional final if everything goes according to form and the top 2 seeds can survive the early rounds. On to our 3rd bracket of the day. Let's take a look at the St. Louis Regional. The Oklahoma Sooners are the top seed, finishing at 23-6. They finished 2nd in the Big 12. They'll take on the Alabama State Hornets, the number 16 ranked team. This marks their 4th appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. Our number 8 seed is from the ACC. The Boston College Eagles were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the big dance. They're going to play the number 9 seed, the New Mexico Lobos, who came in first in their conference tournament, finishing at 23-10. Stanford enters the field as the number 4 seed from the Pac-10. This marks their 19th appearance in the NCAA tournament in team history. They'll be getting ready to face the number 13 seed, the Howard Bison, finished the season with 20 wins.
The Stanford Cardinals are a team that is just so powerful and strong up front. I would put right now, it's always good to have strong guard play, but if you ask most coaches, I guarantee you they take the good big man over the good little man most times. Their interior play should serve them very well in this competition.
The Mississippi State Bulldogs are in as the number 5 seed. They'll be taking on the number 12 seed, the Ryder Broncs, with 17 wins. Tennessee comes in as the number 2 seed, finishing at 23-6. Long Beach State comes in to face them at number 15 with 16 wins in the tournament championship of the Big West. Next up is the number 7 seed. The Utah Utes are the regular season champions from the Mountain West Conference. They'll be going up against the number 10 seed, the Washington State Cougars, with 19 wins. This is their 6th appearance in the NCAA tournament in team history. And now the number 3 seed, the Marquette Golden Eagles, come into the tournament after finishing 2nd in their conference during the regular season and were losers in their first game at their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 14 seed, the Butler Bulldogs, who came in 1st in their conference tournament, finishing at 20-12. Washington comes in as the number 6 seed, finishing at 21-11. And they take on the 11th seed from the Patriot League, the Black Knights of Army, with 19 wins. What a tremendous regional final we'd have in this bracket if the number 1 and 2 seeds here make it through the first 3 rounds unscathed. That could be one of the games of the tournament. And finally, let's have a look at the San Jose Regional. The Texas Tech Red Raiders are the top seed, finishing at 22-7. They finished 3rd in the Big 12. They'll take on the Illinois State Redbirds, the number 16 ranked team. This marks their 10th appearance in the NCAA tournament in school history. Next up is the number 8 seed. The Tulane Green Wave are the conference tournament champions from Conference USA. They'll be going up against the number 9 seed, the Louisville Cardinals, with 19 wins. They return once more to the very familiar surroundings of the NCAA tournament. Virginia comes in as the number 4 seed, finishing at 24-8. Florida Atlantic comes in to face them at number 13 with 17 wins in the tournament championship of the Sun Belt Conference. Kansas comes in as the number 5 seed, finishing at 21-11. And they will take on the 12th seed from the Big South, the VMI Cadets, with 20 wins. Connecticut enters the field as the number 2 seed from the Big East. It's yet another appearance in the brackets for a school that's no stranger to the NCAA tournament. They'll be getting ready to face the number 15 seed, the Samford Bulldogs. Finished the season with 16 wins.
The Connecticut Huskies suffered a big upset in their conference tournament, but they've got to leave that behind them. Sometimes getting a loss like that out of the way before the NCAA tournament can actually help you. It can relieve some pressure and help the players get their focus back.
And now the number 7 seed, the South Carolina Gamecocks, come into the tournament 5th in their conference during the regular season and finish 2nd in their conference tournament. They are going to play the number 10 seed, the California Golden Bears, who were 5th in their conference, finishing at 19-12. The Georgetown Hoyas are in as the number 3 seed. They'll be taking on the number 14 seed, the Sam Houston State Bearcats, with 20 wins. Our number 6 seed is from the Big 10. The Purdue Boilermakers were rewarded for their outstanding play this season with an at-large bid and a ticket to the big dance. They are going to play the number 11 seed, the Rhode Island Rams, who came in 1st in their conference tournament, finishing at 18-15. It's the first question every selection Sunday. Which is the toughest bracket? Well, this bracket looks to me like it wins that prize this year. Not only are the top seeds strong, the lower seeds can be dangerous as well. Clark, give us your take on the tournament's top 16 seeds.
There are no real off-the-wall picks that jump out at me. These 16 teams are all pretty deserving. Let's give the committee some props this year.
Now, let's bring the conference picture into focus. The Pac-10 gets 7 teams. The Big East with 7 out of the Big 10. The SEC gets 6 teams.
What a down year for the non-power conferences. We're used to seeing at least one of those conferences.
Here's the list of the teams that were on the bubble heading into Selection Sunday. So, partner, which of those invitees should be sending the selection committee a thank you card?
Cal must feel a whole lot better now than they did before the show started. Their ticket is punched, and they're on their way to the dance.
All right, Clark, now that we know all the teams and matchups, time to get the tournament underway and let the madness take over.
Greg, it's going to be a fantastic tournament. We've got an outstanding field and a lot of sensational players. I guarantee there are some memorable moments soon to come.
For my partner, Clark Kellogg,